So to start the session, we'll go into our 3D ankle rotations. For these, you're just going to work the ankle round as actively as you possibly can, all the way through your rotation for 3 reps in each direction. Your 2 reference points throughout the rotation are going to be your foot fully pointed and then trying to bring it up as close to the shin bone as you can, and then adding the rotation in between those 2 positions. Do exactly the same on the other side. So again, 3 repetitions going in each direction. You're then going to set yourself up in a half kneeling position, and then on your right side you're going to use your right arm to lever the shin bone over the top of the foot to get that stretch in the ankle. You're then going to go into a 3D active stretch here where you're going to push and pull going forwards and backwards. You can do this around sort of 10 reps, just trying to work the end range of the ankle. Once you've gone forward and backwards, reset that end range position, and then you're going to do the same push and pull but going sideways. Keep using that arm to lever the shin bone forward, and go for 10 reps from left to right. And then finally, once you've done that, set yourself up again, and then you're going to add a rotation. So with the rotation you can use your hips as a driver, and then you can use your knee as the reference point going from left to right. Again, around 10 reps going from left to right. Once you've done this, have a breathe in between, and then do exactly the same on the other side. So it's important with these to make sure that you keep your big toe, little toe and heel down on the ground throughout, so you're not just having your foot flapping around from left to right, especially with these lateral transitions here and the rotations. So just make sure your foot's staying in contact with the ground throughout these movements. Once you've had a bit of a rest in between, you're going to get yourself set up in a sideline position to do your 3D hip rotations. So you're going to bring your leg up into flexion, out to the side and abduction, internally rotate, and then bring the leg to the side, straighten it out, and then reverse the process. So try and hold the leg internal rotation, let it rotate out, bring it in front of you, and then slowly go back to your start position. So lots of control here. Keep the weight on the top arm so your body isn't rotating behind you, and you're going to do a total of 3 full repetitions on each side. Once you're done, you're just going to set yourself up in your resting position. So just sit back, reach your arms right out in front of you, and just move around to alleviate any tension. The next position is going to be a spine segmentation, but targeting the lumbar spine. So once you get yourself set up into an all fours position, you're going to reach out slightly in front of you to block the T-spine. You're going to go up into flexion, and then working bottom up, you're going to go through to extension, trying to work each vertebrae individually. Once you've got through to extension, you'll do exactly the same, so bottom up, but working through into flexion, trying to individually separate those vertebrae. And then you'll do exactly the same as you did at the beginning, working through to extension, piece by piece, bottom up, going through to flexion, and that's 4 total runs. Have a breather there, so go back into your rest position, and you'll do exactly the same again. So again, go back into your resting position just to alleviate any tension. And then you're going to set yourself up for some T-spine segmentation. So here you're going to sit cross-legged, fold your arms in front of you, and we're going to work the individual planes of movement first. So you're going to go flexion into extension. So just working the T-spine, so try not to include your lower back. So you'll flex all the way forward, extend all the way up to the top, just trying to work the T-spine as best as you possibly can. And you'll just do 4 total reps. Nice and controlled, nice and slow and steady. And then in between each individual plane of movement, you're just going to move around a little bit. So relax your arms, set yourself up again, and this time you're going to lateral flexion. So again, just trying to move the T-spine. So use your rib cage here as a guider of movement. So you're going to try and move that from side to side. And you're going to do 4 total reps. Again, relax in between, so just move around a little bit. Last one, set yourself up, and this time rotation. So squeeze yourself round to one side, set yourself up in the middle, and then repeat, go in the other direction. Again, 4 repetitions. Once you've done that, have a relax. And then you're going to set yourself up to do a full 3D T-spine rotation. So we're going to put everything together. So forward flexion, piece by piece through that spine, rotate round to one side, side bend, and then a big extension and rotation behind you until you end up in lateral flexion on the opposite side. Rotate round to the middle, extend up to the top, and then repeat going in the other direction. So flexion forward, rotate, side bend, extension and rotation all the way around to the opposite side. So you're side flexing, rotate to the middle, and then extend up to the top. Once you've done that, have a move around, rest a little bit, try and relax, and you'll do exactly the same again. So relax here, we'll use a seated straddle position just as our resting position. So just sit your legs out, have a move around just because we've been sat cross-legged. And then you're going to get yourself ready to go into the next position, which is going to be all fours, and we're going to eccentrically load the posterior part of our shoulder. So if you look at the setup in the video, you're going to slowly lower yourself down to create a nice stretch going around the rear part of your shoulder, and then release up to the top. You're just going to do 4 reps of this, so nice and controlled, lowering down, using the arm to clamp yourself into position, and then you can drop the elbow down as well to create another pivot point. To slowly load all across the rear part of the shoulder, all the way around to that sort of posterior part of your upper back. Okay, so just have a move around. You can go back into your original resting position. And then the next position we're going to go for, again, is all fours. And you're going to start by doing some scap push-ups in this all four position. So you're just going to slide the scapulars together without using your head too much as a driver, and trying to keep your lumbar spine in a reasonably neutral position. So you're just going to do 5 reps here of trying to get your scaps moving as far back around your upper back and in front of you as you can. With our rest position here, you're just going to sit back and alleviate your wrists, so just let them sit into a flex position. And then this time we're going to add a 3D rotation. So you're now going to slide them back and then try and draw as big of a rotation as you can, whilst being nice and controlled. Again, try not to use your head too much as a driver. Try and get all the movement going from your scapula. You're going to do 5 rotations forward, and then you're going to do 5 rotations backwards. Be aware of what your lower back's doing, so again, try and keep it reasonably neutral throughout. Avoid any pain. Nice and controlled. 5 repetitions in total. Go back into your resting position. And then you're going to set yourself up in a prone position, so lying down, face down. Here you can find something to support your forehead if you need to. And you're going to go into your prone swimmers. You're going to lift your arms up behind you with your knuckles pointing down. Slowly bring them round from an internally rotated to externally rotated by the time you get to your shoulder line. All the way over the top of your head, and just reverse the process. So try and follow the rotation if you can in the video. Have a quick look. Each time you're going to relax in that end point position and then go again. Nice and controlled here. Try not to use any momentum. Keep the arms away from the ground as best you can, and avoid any pain. We'll do 3 full repetitions in total. So to set ourselves up for the final exercise, to start with, you're just going to go into some 90-90 transitions. So just going from left to right, from internal to external rotation on both sides, anywhere around sort of 6 to 8 reps. And then once you've done that, you're then going to go into a seated straddle position, just as a rest position before setting ourselves up. So your seated straddle position is just going to be legs out to the side and just kind of moving around in between, just to give yourself a breather. Now, to set yourselves up for the final position, you're going to have 3 positions you're going to be working from. So it will be a seated butterfly, a 90-90 and a hurdle hold. In each one of these positions, we're going to do a 5-second contraction going away from the desired range, and then 5 seconds going towards the actual stretch that we're trying to get. So in the seated butterfly, you can do 5 seconds squeezing up against the arms, 5 seconds squeezing the knees down to the ground. So once you've kind of held that position for around sort of 30 seconds, you can lock yourself in, and then you'll start to squeeze up against the arms, 5 seconds, blocking the legs, and then once you've done 5 seconds up, it's 5 seconds down, so trying to drive your knees towards the floor, and then you're going to slowly transition to your 90-90 position. Here you're going to work the rear leg. So it's going to be 5 seconds pushing the leg down, 5 seconds down, then 5 seconds lifting the leg up, and then relaxing, going through to your hurdle hold. And here you can do the front leg. So you're going to squeeze the front leg down, pushing the heel down for 5 seconds, and then attempting to squeeze the leg up, so trying to lift it off the floor without changing position. And then you're going to transition back to your 90-90, slowly back to your butterfly position, and then you can rest here. So you're going to do exactly the same on the other side when you're ready to go. So 5 seconds squeezing up, 5 seconds actively finding range by pushing the knees down, and then you'll transition to the other side now, so through to that 90-90 position and working the rear leg. So you're going to push the rear leg down for 5 seconds, a nice squeeze, 5 seconds actively trying to lift the foot up, and then you're going to transition the front leg through to that hurdle hold, and you're going to go 5 seconds squeezing the heel down, and then 5 seconds attempting to lift the foot off the floor, and then slowly transitioning back into your seated butterfly position. Once you've done that, you can have a breather, so rest in that position if you need to. Slowly come out of it into our seated straddle position. And then just to finish, you're going to lie on your back, just roll your knees from side to side just to have a little bit of movement, anywhere around 10 reps, and your session is done.